जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय जय गोपीजन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय लाभा जय गोपीजन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन 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 यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya. Jaya Radha Gopinath, Radha Khirchor Gopinath Radhe Jaya Radha. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. श्रील प्रभुपाद की, श्री भागवत पुराण की, आप सब वैष्णववृंद की, हरे कृष्ण। Sure, Prabhu. Thank you. I will. This one. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So we are very fortunate to have amongst us His Grace Maha Bhagavat Prabhu. So Prabhuji is born in a Madhva Vaishnava family. Uh, the books and followers of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami helped him progressively reach from atheism to agnosticism to the impersonal conception to a personal idea of God and finally to a practicing devotee in the line of Bhakti, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Even though he started reading Bhagavad Gita as it is, just to find faults in it, this book had a profound impact on his life, and he has read this text hundreds of times, always finding new lights in every reading. This reading started over 20 years ago. he met his spiritual master, His Grace Shriman Shankarshandas Adhikari, in 2004, but it was only after several years of intense discourse over email, over 600 questions asked and patiently answered, that he realized he has met his eternal spiritual master. He was initiated in 2011 at ISKCON Austin, Texas, and then received his second initiation in 2013 at ISKCON Kaunas, Lithuania. Of course, many hundreds and thousands of souls have contributed to his spiritual growth, and he is grateful to all of them. He primarily reads, writes, and teaches from the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Yashopanishad, Sri Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Devotion. Discourses and formats are tailored according to the needs of specific audience being served. He speaks English, Kannada, Marathi, Hindi, and Telugu, though being in the Western countries for a long time. He mostly preaches in English. He also has some basic understanding of Sanskrit and German. The background in electrical and electronics engineering, where he earned a gold medal, and postgraduate studies in software technology. He pursued a PhD in machine learning and computational linguistics in Toronto, but this coincided with his increasing interest in bhakti and had to choose between the umpteen research papers and the works of Srila Prabhupada. His primary services are Sankirtan, book distribution, teaching, mentoring, cooking, and deity worship. However, he has performed all sorts of varied services by the grace of Guru and Krishna, including book publishing, fixing temple toilets, sweeping and mopping, taking out the garbage, and driving trucks. He strives to serve as much as possible as needed within his limitations and constraints. He is currently working in the corporate world as Chief Technological Officer at an insurance company. He serves in ISKCON Toronto along with his wife and son. He still considers himself as a recovering atheist and is praying to be a devotee of Krishna someday. So he
thank
is
you very
very
much.
humble.
Thank you
So
very
let
much.
us heartily welcome Prabhuji by
Hare Krishna.
once loudly chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Before I start, I'll ask for blessings from my elders and my seniors in many ways. Some of you have dedicated your lives to Krishna and his devotees. Some of you are more advanced in knowledge. Some of you are more advanced in sincerity. Some of you are, just amazing devotees overall. But especially, I'm grateful to the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, because without him, all of us would have never actually known who Srila Prabhupada is and his instructions are. So beg their blessings and start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today, reading from the 4th canto, the 25th chapter, text number 49. So 425 49. This chapter, the 4th canto, the Srimad Bhagavatam covers 10 different topics, and some acharyas say that they're split up into different cantos. Some acharyas say that every topic is covered in every canto. It's not super important how that is right now, but this particular canto is entitled Creation. It's creation of the 4th order. And then in this specific chapter is called the characteristics of King Puranjana. So because today is also Lord Ramachandra Vijayotsava, we don't want to lose continuity of this yajna that is going on, the Bhagavat Katha that goes on here every day at ISKCON Hyderabad. So we'll do this verse, but we'll also speak about the Lord, and we'll chant those verses. We won't chant these verses today. I'll just read these verses myself. We'll do a little discussion, and then we'll move to those verses which the devotees have kindly prepared to display on the screen, and then we will chant those together, okay? There are a couple of verses. Mukhyānāma purastādvās तयापन बहुदनौ विषयो याति पुरराड रसज्ञ विपणान्वितः. We will read the other two verses just to save time. Is that okay? The translation of this verse is, the fifth gate situated on the eastern side was named Mukhya, or the chief. Through this gate, accompanied by his friends named Rasadnya and Vipana, he used to visit two places named Bahudana and Apana. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The mouth is here described as the chief or the most important gate. The mouth is a very important entrance because one has two functions. To conduct with the mouth. One function is eating and the other is speaking. Our eating is done with the friend Rasadnya, the tongue, which can taste so many different types of foods. The tongue is also used for speaking, and it can speak of either material sense enjoyment or Vedic knowledge. Of course, here material sense enjoyment is stressed. Therefore, the word Rasadnya is used. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च. श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So, this particular chapter is an allegorical story recited by Sri Narad Muni for the benefit of a king, a great king, who was named Prachina Bharhishat. So Prachina Bharhishat was the father of 10 sons, and these 10 sons were greatly blessed by Lord Shiva, and they meditated underwater for 10,000 years, and they attained spiritual perfection in this way by the mercy of Lord Shiva. However, their father Bharhishat, or Prachina Bharhishat, was very much attached to what is known as Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda means performing certain ritualistic activities in order to get certain kinds of results. So there are different kinds of sacrifices. You can give in charity, you can sacrifice animals. There are so many different kinds of things that Prachina Bharishat was doing, that Narad Muni, the great teacher, took mercy upon this great king who was unfortunately going down the path of material enjoyment and suffering, because wherever there is material enjoyment, there is suffering also. So he came and he started to ask him about, why are you doing all of these activities? And Maharaj Prachina Bharishat was extremely honest. He was very honest, and he says, I don't know anything. This is what I know, Karma Kanda stuff. And I know that this is not right, but I don't know what else to do. So Narad Muni, in order to educate this great king, kings are meant to be educated, because if the kings are educated, then the rest of the public will be educated. If the kings are idiots, the rest of the public will be idiots. Okay? Because, in modern days, unfortunately, they are not the proper standard of who is supposed to be ruling. You can see all the people on the big billboards. None of them have any spiritual knowledge, shamelessly promoting themselves without any benefit to society. So, when the day will come, though, when these great kings who are here, powerful kings, who will listen to the great Vaishnavas within the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai, Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Jagannath Valde Subhadra Devi Shri Sudarshan ki Jai. So they have just had their breakfast, and they are granting us their merciful vision. Just by them seeing us, we will be purified, even if we may not be able to see them. So, so in this chapter, he started describing an allegorical story in which he describes the king Puranjana. Puranjana is uh, a king who is wandering around, and he meets a very beautiful princess and beautiful woman, and they both kind of seduce each other. There you can see their flattering conversations that have already happened in this in the previous chapter, and or they're about to happen. They're about to happen. Uh, it's an interesting subject matter overall. It covers 5 chapters. This entire episode with Prachina Bharishat and Puranjana covers 5 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's extremely important for us to understand in great detail. So this Puranjan Katha will be going on for the next few months here at ISKCON Hyderabad. So I'm inviting all of you to please come and attend, because all the different speakers will present amazing lights on this aspect of the Bhagavatam, and everybody will benefit greatly by hearing this story. So specifically here, um, the Narad Muni is describing an allegory where he is talking about the different gates. You know, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Navadware Pure Dehi. So basically, there is a living entity, us. We are living in the city of 9 gates. You know, and out of those 9 gates, 7 are visible and 7 are invisible. Modern society, they're making those also visible, but we don't want to see them. Okay, so there are those 7 gates, and the 7 gates are described. You know, you can see your 2 nostrils, your 2 ear holes, your mouth, you know, and there are other holes that are described as well, right? So, and then the entire body is constructed in an allegorical way. There are blind servants of the queen. The queen is the intelligence of the living entity. And all of this is very greatly described, and I won't go into the details here because this will be covered in detail as the verses come up. Specifically, we'll talk very briefly about the specific gate that is being mentioned, which is the mouth. Okay, so mouth is extremely important gate, as Srila Prabhupada is saying, because there are only 2 things, right? Eating and speaking, right? And in today's world, people eat nonsense and speak nonsense also, right? They eat garbage, and because they eat garbage, only nonsense comes out of the mouth, right? So our goal in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is to take only Krishna and speak only Krishna, because we take only Krishna Prasad, we don't take anything else. Any food that is not specifically prepared for the enjoyment of Krishna is sinful in its reaction. So every food must be prepared for the enjoyment of Krishna himself, and then it should be lovingly offered to Krishna, and then begged. Krishna should be begged with great intensity to please accept this offering, which is, you know, our offering is, what is that offering, right? Like, what can we make when Radharani and Lakshmi Devi are cooking for Krishna? What can we make for Krishna? But still we beg, and then when we take this prasad, then what comes out is also Krishna, because, you know, garbage in, garbage out, right? So if you eat garbage, only garbage will come out. But if you take Krishna Prasad, then actually Krishna Katha will come out at every moment. And this is our goal. We want to purify our bodies, purify our senses by taking Krishna Prasad. And then we want to, this is mentioned in the in the various scriptures, right? For example, we say, when we take prasad, we say Tara madhe jiva ati lobhamoy sudurmati. Jadendriya tahe kal, we say that before. All our senses are actually in ignorance. They are dark, you know, because they can only work in the realm of material sense gratification. Therefore, they are in the mode of ignorance. They are dark. Taramadhe jiva ati lobhamoy sudurmati. The tongue is the most, greedy, extremely greedy, and durmati. You know, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is actually saying that the tongue actually has the intelligence in the mode of ignorance, right? So the tongue is a thing that drags us down into all kinds of things. I once upon a time had a classmate, he's no longer a friend, whose goal in life was to taste every single animal. I'm like, okay, fine, 8.4 million species minimum, okay, unless he develops a taste for some animal, in which case he'll stay in that lifetime for a few hundred lifetimes, right? So this is terrible. This is there. one important lesson is there though, right? Before Narad Muni started telling this story to King Puranjana expressed his ignorance and asked to be enlightened. So this is a very important lesson for us. In order to avoid committing the offense against the holy name, we don't preach to the faithless people, right? So we basically create faith, we make sure that they are actually interested, and then we only pour in as much as they can take. Okay, so often, especially when I was new in Krishna consciousness, I was like, about to do open heart surgery without anesthesia on every single person I met, and that was not effective. It burned them, right? So we have to be careful about how we preach. We try to figure out that they are actually interested, and then give them as much as they can take, and then more, and then more, and then more. So that's an important lesson by Narad Muni, who is a great acharya. He's teaching by example, right? He's making sure that he gives King Puranjan as much as he can take. So Narad Muni is very, very expert. All the acharyas, all our spiritual masters are very, very expert. Srila Prabhupada has created so many engagements for us, for example, right? Some people, they are not so much interested in philosophy. So there is a great program for kirtan, right, all the time. And they can come and do kirtan. Other people, they can do kirtan, but again, they are not really interested in the rest of the process of Krishna consciousness. So there's so much service here. Right? There's sweeping, mopping, cleaning, carrying boxes here and there, driving trucks like I mentioned earlier, right? So many different services are there. So Srila Prabhupada expertly is engaging us in the Krishna Katha, yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niyojayet. So we are supposed to engage our mind somehow or the other in Krishna, and acharyas make all these arrangements. Like, so they make arrangements for the rich people to get involved. We construct big temples. You see, ISKCON temples are big and opulent, just so that the rich people have something to do in Krishna consciousness. Because otherwise, rich people have a very difficult time in spiritual life. Right? They don't have much ruchi for many, like the austerities that these brahmacharis here are experiencing. Rich people cannot tolerate those kinds of austerities. It's difficult for them, right? So to engage them, we take their money, right? And then we build large temples. And then especially Indians, but many people, especially Indians, are attracted by opulence, right? If we construct a little room there and we say we are going to do a chanting of Hare Krishna, right? 3 people will come, right? But then we say, oh, we are constructing a gigantic, big, huge marble temple, can fit 10,000 people in there. It's 400 feet high, and there are multiple stories. And then all the people will get attracted because they want to see the building, right? They want to see the building. And so fine, we are inviting them to see the building, and then that's what they are attracted to. So the acharya is very expert. So I just came from NVCC in Pune, gigantic temple constructed by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, especially the disciples of Radhanath Swami Maharaj and Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and many other disciples of spiritual masters are involved in that. But the big temple is just to attract all these people who are attracted to opulence, right? Bring them into the temple, have some conversation, get them to chant one round of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and give them some prasad and so on and so forth. So we have different strategies that are applied to different kinds of people, and Narad Muni showed that with his own personal example. He preached in a different way to Mrigari, he preached in a different way to Malmiki, he preached in a completely different way to Dhruva Maharaj. Right? He told Dhruva Maharaj, you're a prince, go back home. Right? What are you doing here? You can't stay in the forest. You're used to sleeping on soft beds and eating all kinds of delicacies. What will you do? And he tested Dhruva Maharaj, and Dhruva Maharaj said, if you cannot give me the right instruction, please leave me alone. Right? He said, and then so he passed the test of the spiritual master. So spiritual master gave him the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He did not give any further instructions. He did not tell him, you must fast like this, you must control your breathing. He did not say all of these different instructions, right? He just gave him the mantra, and from the mantra, everything came, right? So Narad Muni did that. Now, after describing this whole analogy, now Srila Prabhupada in the purport has instructed us what this is. At the 5th gate situated on the eastern side was Mukhya, or the chief. Through this gate, accompanied by his friends named Rasadya and Vipana, he used to visit 2 places named Bahudana and Apana. Okay? So now, if this was all the information that was given to us, how many of us would understand what this refers to without the purport? Right? So when reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada's purports are super important because they help us to see what these things exactly mean. We don't have to wait till the end of the story like Maharaj Prachina Bharishat and then say to Narad Muni, I'm sorry sir, I did not understand anything what you said here. Can you please explain? Okay. So Narad Muni gave the whole story and then he explained. Right? Now he could have explained the philosophy directly, but through the means of the story, he built up Maharaj Prachina Bharishat's interest. Right? It was a very like a novel, like a very spicy novel, the story between Puranjan and his queen, and all her servants, and all the things that happened to Puranjan and his city. How its city is attacked and destroyed. How there's a big five-hooded serpent. It's very very picturesque analogy develops in the mind. You have this five-hooded serpent. You have these white warriors, and you have the white and the black warriors and the blind servants, and what's going on here? It's like Arabian Nights, except it actually has some deep meaning inside it. Okay, um, so he then explained everything. Okay, and then Prachina Bharishat, Maharaj Prachina understood everything. The mission was successful. He became a bhakta, and then he went back home, back to Godhead. Okay, so that's the goal. So, in fact, the tongue is so important that even Yamraj, the god of death, mentions this, right? He says, Jivha navakti bhagavad guna namadhyayam. Right? And then he goes on to mention, Chetas chanasmarati tat charanara vindam. Chetas, mind, he mentions the tongue, he mentions the mind. Krishna yano namati yachira ekadapi. Who does not bow his head to Krishna even once. Ta, ta, Tananayadhvamasato vimukhan mukunda. He says, Yamaraj says to his servants, you bring those people whose tongue does not chant the names of Krishna, whose consciousness is not filled with Krishna, whose head is not constantly bowing to Krishna. Those people whose consciousness is focused away from Mukunda, you bring those people to me, right? So Yamaraj says this. So anybody who wants to escape the clutches of Yamaraj, please take this very seriously. Use your tongue to taste only Krishna Prasad and use your mouth to vibrate Krishna Katha. Now, you might say some of us are grahasthas, working jobs, etc. How are you going to always vibrate Krishna Katha? That which is vibrated only for the purpose so that Krishna Katha can be prosecuted, that is also Krishna Katha. So if I have to make some business, or if I have to make some kind of professional arrangements in order to facilitate my Krishna Katha, right? Because not everybody can practice Krishna Katha on a hungry stomach or living under a tree, for example. So such people, that is also for them Krishna Katha, that is okay. But only that much, not more than that, right? So we talked about the Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayers, about the prayer. So our other acharyas have followed. See, Yamaraj is saying, Yamaraj is one of our acharyas, right? He's one of the Mahajanas. He's one of the GBCs of Krishna, right? So Srila Prabhupada says that himself. I'm not making that up. Okay, so now our Rupa Goswami says in his Upadeshamrita, he says, what does he say? He says, Vacho vegam, manasah krodha vegam, jivha vegam, udaropastha vegam, etan veganyo vishaheta dhiraha. Okay, prithivim sashishyat. But we are focusing on how many times he mentions the mind and everything is to do with the mind and the tongue, right? The mind and the tongue. And the tongue is the primary thing by which we can control the mind. If we cannot control the mind, if we cannot control the tongue, we cannot control the mind. It's impossible, right? So tongue has to be controlled first, and then the mind will fall in line. Everything else will fall in line. Or udara, upastha, all of them will fall in line because they're in a straight line, right? It's super important for us. In fact, it says, Atah Sri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyahi sevon mukhe jivvado swayameva swaratyadha. Sevon mukhe, right? Through service. And again, what is mentioned? Jivvado. Jivha Adav. So Jivha is the number one. Like, okay, Jivha is the main thing. So when my spiritual master saw, I was very fond of speaking. He said, you must speak about Krishna. And that was the stricture that he placed upon me. He did not say, keep silence or keep quiet, you speak too much and that kind of stuff. He basically engaged me in that particular kind of service. So everybody has a very active jivha. So we should actually engage in that. Okay. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions that austerity of speech is what? Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita that austerity of speech is regularly reciting the Vedic literature. Right? It's very important to regularly recite the Vedic literature. So we come here every day, we recite the Vedic literature, but one should do that. One should have a program of chanting the Bhagavad Gita, at least one chapter every day, right? It's called Chant. It's a very famous program around in the world. Devotees chant one chapter per month. And pretty soon, they are reciting the whole Bhagavad Gita by heart. It works that way. You chant one chapter 30 times. You're not chanting in a fruitive way, but you chant one chapter, take it, repeat it. Some people do it for a week. Some people do it Ekadashi to Ekadashi. Some people chant a different chapter every day. Some people chant one chapter until they have learnt it by heart. And then they chant that chapter every day plus the next one that they want to learn by heart. And then they add on to it and add on to it. So this austerity of speech is super important, right? Now, Narad Muni is the spiritual master, Krishna is the original spiritual master, and Krishna appears as Guru in different ways, and he corrects and he saves the souls. Guru's job is to save the soul. My Guru saved me. Everybody, the Guru is saving us. Prabhupada is saving all of us here, right? So Krishna saves different souls in different ways, right? So sometimes he gives, okay, like for example, to Maharaj Chitraketu he gave, right, and then he takes away. From Maharaj Chitraketu he took away, right? So sometimes he gives, sometimes he take away, sometimes he pats on the back, sometimes he gives a kick on the bottom side, right? Like he gives a kick. These things happen. Krishna does different things for different souls according to what they need at any given moment, right? So some souls are so far gone that the only way is to reboot them, right? So Krishna reboots them, and today is Ramachandra Vijayotsava, which is actually a reboot of Ravana, right? Ravana had to be rebooted. He could not. He was completely corrupted, right? So, of course, Ravana is not an ordinary soul. He's a Vaikunthavasi. Ravana and Kumbhakarna were Jaya and Vijaya, right? They were Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, and they later on became Jagai and Madhai. They were Shishupal and Dantavakra. They appeared in three pastimes, and they got a bonus pastime with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu afterwards. They are not ordinary souls, and only an extraordinary soul can actually have that kind of enmity with the Lord, right? So can you imagine, like, you force the Lord to cross the ocean, right? Like you do all of these different things. It's a pastime. Lord Ramchandra did not have to cross the ocean. It's a pastime, but still, only that kind of caliber of a demon can actually cause the Lord to appear for their deliverance, right? Others, Durga Devi is outside. She takes care of everybody, right? So there are wars going on everywhere in the world, right? So she just arranges these situations and they kill each other, basically. The demons kill each other. But still, Krishna arranges that everybody gets the kind of correction that they deserve, okay? So what we are going to do is, our goal today is we are going to chant these two verses, okay, today. So we're going to chant from the 9th canto, 10th chapter, verse number 23. So we're going to chant. It's going to come up on the board, so you don't have to run for your phones yet. Right? So 9, 10, 23. For me, this is a very famous verse. No, not this one, the next one. But this one is the verse that specifically talks about the liberation of Ravana. Okay, so we're going to read this verse. We're going to chant it. So will we have it here? Evam Kshipan. Okay. So we are going to do this verse. Let us chant it together. Repeat after me. Evam kshipan dhanushi sandithamutsa sarja. Banam savajramiva tadhridayam bibheda. Sosragvamandasha mukhairnyapatadvimanad. Dhaheti jalpati jane sukritaiva riktaha. Evam kshipam dhanushi sandhitamutsa sarja. Banam ca vajramiva tadhridayam bibheda. Sosragvamandasha mukhairnyapatadvimana. Dhaheti jalpati jane sukriti variktaha. एवं क्षिपं धनुषि सन्धितमुत्ससर्ज बाणं सवज्रमिव तद्धृदयं बिभेद सोऽस्रग्वमन्दशमुखैर्न्यपतद्विमानान् धाहेति जल्पति जने सुकृतीव रिक्तः. One more. एवं क्षितं धनुषि सन्धितमुत्ससर्ज बाणं सवज्रमिव तद्धृदयं बिभेद सोऽस्रग्वमन्दशमुखैर्न्यपतद्विमानान् साहेति जल्पितजने सुकृतीव रिक्तः. Vaishnavis, want to chant? Is it too far? No? Okay, so we have another verse. Anybody who did not get a chance but would really like to chant can chant the other verse too. So we'll continue here. After thus rebuking Ravana, and you can see Lord Ramachandra's words. He's saying, Lord Ramachandra said to Ravana, "You are the most abominable of the man-eaters." Indeed, he says, this is Ramachandra speaking, okay? You are like their stool. You resemble a dog. For as a dog steals eatables from the kitchen in the absence of the householder, in my absence you kidnapped my wife Sita Devi. Therefore, as Yamaraj punishes sinful men, I shall also punish you. You are most abominable, sinful, and shameless. Today, therefore, I, Lord Ramachandra, whose attempt never fails, shall punish you. And then after that, he did this. After thus rebuking Ravana, Lord Ramachandra fixed an arrow to his bow, aimed at Ravana, and released the arrow, which pierced Ravana's heart like a thunderbolt. Upon seeing this, Ravana's followers raised a tumultuous sound, crying, "Alas, alas, what has happened? What has happened?" As Ravana, vomiting blood from his 10 mouths, fell from his airplane, just as a pious man falls to earth from the heavenly planets when the results of his pious activities are exhausted. Okay, so in this verse, okay, we had the verse that we read before from the 25th chapter of the 4th canto. It was talking about Puranjana and his enjoyment for 100 years. Right? Everywhere the enjoyment is for 100 years. The time scale is different, as Prabhu was mentioning in the class recently. He's not here. I forget his name. Huh? Achyuta Gopal Prabhu was mentioning that, how the time scales are different on different planets. So enjoyment is for 100 years, but after the quota is finished, when your Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj says that being in the heavenly planets is like being in a hotel, in a 5-star hotel or some such posh hotel. The moment your money is finished, you have to check out. Right? You have to keep paying your bills. When you cannot pay your bills anymore, they'll kick you out, back on the street. Right? So that's what it is like. So that example is given. In Bhagavad Gita 9:21, it is said, Kshine punyam martya lokam vishanti. When the results of their pious activities are exhausted, those who have enjoyed in the heavenly planets fall again to the earth. So this whole purport is amazing, but I won't read the full purport. Okay? So I'll just say, again, connection with the story of Puranjana is in the last part of this purport. Okay? We should not forget that we are completely dependent on laws of nature. Prakritehe kriyamanani gunais karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma kartahamide manyate. Srila Prabhupada writes this translation here. The bewildered soul, under the influence of 3 modes of material nature, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by nature. That's 3:27 Bhagavad Gita. One should not be proud of one's exalted position and act like Ravana, thinking oneself independent of material nature's laws. That's a problem that's happening today. We also, but especially those who are not yet in devotional service, are thinking that they're independent. They might be able to get away with all sorts of stuff, but it's not going to happen. Yamaraj will catch them. Okay, and then what are we supposed to do now? Okay, so we know that people are in this kind of consciousness. Srila Prabhupada has given us a mission, right? Srila Prabhupada has given us the mission to re-spiritualize this whole world. Srila Prabhupada wants every single person on this planet to be a pure devotee, right? No, now we might start thinking, how can we make the whole planet pure devotee? Even I am not a pure devotee. This is such a difficult task. How can this be possible? And then you come, wake up in the morning with your shoulders drooped and you don't know how to do this, right? Like it's difficult. But that's not the goal. The goal is now our goal is to kill Ravana, right, within the society. Like within the society, all of us are little Ravanas. First of all, we have to kill Ravana within ourselves. Like all these material, the desires to enjoy Krishna's property, Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam, Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat, everything belongs to Krishna. But I think that this is mine, this is mine. My Guru Maharaj says mine, you know, my home, my wife, my child, my job, my car, Maya, right? So that's what he says. That's what he always says. So we want to kill that tendency within ourselves, right? So we can pray to the Lord, and don't worry that Lord Ramchandra is not on this altar. He is in at least 3 spots on this altar, right? He's on this altar, so he can take any form that he likes, from any form that he likes. So we can pray to him and say, please kill this Ravana mentality in my mind. And when that happens, we can go out and kill the Ravana mentality in society. But then we can say, well, who am I to kill the Ravana mentality in society? I am not Lord Ramachandra. It took Lord Ramachandra to kill Ravana, right? No, Indra could not kill Ravana. He was invincible to Indra, right? And we are not as powerful as Indra. Right? We are not as powerful as Jatayu tried. We are not even 1/10,000th the strength of Jatayu. Right? Not possible for us to kill Ravana. I'm not strong. I'm not expert. I'm not intelligent. I'm not pure. I'm not this. I'm not this. I'm not this. So we can make this an excuse and say, oh well, world deliverance mission, we'll have to wait for another Acharya like Srila Prabhupada to appear on this planet. But he's here, he's sitting in Vrindavan in Samadhi. So he has appeared already, right? And all the previous Acharyas are still here on this planet as well. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has not left, right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur has not left. Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, they're all here. Right? So many pure devotees are here. So this planet is destined for success. But then we can say, but unfortunately, I am the instrument for them. And what can I do? I'm such a dull fool. Right? What can be done? But this is not what we need to want to do. And therefore, we're going to the next verse, which this is a very famous verse for me because this was a turning point in my spiritual life. Right? So every time Ram Navami comes or Vijayadashmi comes, I meditate on this verse. This is a class given by Srila Giriraj Swami Maharaj in 2009 in ISKCON Philadelphia. Okay, so if you can go and look up that class, it's an absolutely delightful class. So I can't speak like Giriraj Maharaj, come on. So, but I will just give a little bit of what I got from that class, and I'm sure that will leave us all very inspired and energized to go and conquer this world for Srila Prabhupada. Okay, that's our mission, right? We are supposed to conquer the world for Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so now we'll read this verse, and we'll also chant this verse, and we'll read the translation together. We'll read this purport, right? And then we will end this. I was given permission by the authorities to go on for a little bit longer. I hope that's okay, and that everybody is not hungry. Or if you are, you have 2 choices. You can go and get prasadam, or you can hold out for a little bit because some nectar is coming straight from Giriraj Swami Maharaj. Okay, we are Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, we are Giriraj Swami Maharaj. It's coming here. Okay, okay. Teni kapa raghupatera bhipatya sarve द्वन्द्वं वरुथमिभपत्तिरथाश्वयोधैः जघ्नुर्द्रुमैर्गिरिगदेषु अङ्गदाद्याः सीताभिमर्शहतमङ्गलरावणेशान् तेनी कपा रघुपतेरभिपत्य सर्वे द्वन्द्वं वरुथमिभपत्तिरथाश्वयोधैः गिरिगदेषु भिरङ्गराद्य अङ्गदाद्याः सीताभिमर्शहतमङ्गलरावणेशान् Can someone give Prabhu a phone because it's too far from him for him to recite? It's too somebody give him a phone with a verse. It's too far. Tenikapateraभिपत्य सर्वे द्वन्द्वं मरुतमिव पत्तिरथाश्वयोधये जग्नुर्द्रुमैर्गिरिगदेषु भिरङ्गदाद्या सीताभिमर्शहतमङ्गलरावणेशान्. Please chant. So just one note, okay? That last line there in that Sanskrit is super important for us, okay? So chant that line slowly. So if we don't remember anything, we can remember that, okay? So please, others, please chant. Tenikavtaragupateraभिपत्य सर्वे द्वन्द्वं वरुथमिव पत्तिरथाश्वयोधये जग्नुर्गिरिगदेषु भिरङ्गदाद्याः सीताभिमर्शहतमङ्गलरावणेशान्. Two more and then some Vaishnavis. तेनिकपारघुपतेराभिपत्य सर्वे तन्वं वरुथमिव पत्तिरथाश्वयोधये जग्नुर्द्रुमैर्गिरिगदेषु भरङ्गदाद्याः सीताभिमर्शहतमङ्गलरावणेशान्. तेनिकपारघुपतेराभिपत्य सर्वे द्वन्द्वं वरुथमिव पत्तिरथाश्वयोधये जग्नुर्द्रुमैर्गिरिगदेषु भिरङ्गदाद्याः सीताभिमर्शहतमङ्गलरावणेशान्. Please, Vaishnavis, please chant. Please, one of you, please chant. तेनिकपारघुपतेराभिपत्य सर्वे द्वन्द्वं वरुथमिव पत्तिरथाश्वयोधये जग्नुर्द्रुमैर्गिरिगदेषु भिरङ्गदाद्याः सीताभिमर्शहतमङ्गलरावणेशान्. Any other Vaishnavas would like to chant? You have a chance. One person. It's okay if you don't. Vaishnavis. Chant, please. One of you, please. It's very important. तेनिकपत्रगुपतेराभिपत्य सर्वे द्वन्द्वं वरुथमिव पत्तिरथाश्वयोधये जग्नुर्द्रुमैर्गिरिगदेषु भिरङ्गदाद्याः सीताभिमर्शहतमङ्गलरावणेशान्. Te, all of them, Anikapaha, the commanders of the soldiers, Raghupate, of Lord Sri Ramachandra, Abhipatya, chasing the enemy, Sarve, all of them, Dvandvam, fighting, Varutham, the soldiers of Ravana, Ibha, by elephants, Patti, by infantry, Ratha, by chariots, Ashwa, by horses, Yodhai, by such warriors, Jagnuho, kill them, Drumai, by throwing big trees, Giri, by peaks of mountains, Gada, by clubs, Ishubhi, by arrows, Angadadya, all the soldiers of Lord Ramachandra, headed by Angada and others, Sita, of Mother Sita, Abhimarsha, by the anger, Hata, had been condemned, Mangala, whose auspiciousness, Ravana Ishan, the followers or dependents of Ravana. Repeat the translation also. Angada and the other commanders of the soldiers of Lord or the soldiers of Ramachandra faced the elephants, infantry, horses, and chariots of the enemy and hurled against them big trees, mountain peaks, clubs, and arrows. Thus, the soldiers of Lord Ramachandra killed Ravana's soldiers who had lost all good fortune because Ravana had been condemned by the anger of Mother Sita. Okay, purport. We'll read the purport, quick discussion, and then if there are any questions or comments. Okay. The soldiers of Lord Ramachandra recruited in the jungle were all monkeys and did not have proper equipment with which to fight the soldiers of Ravana. For Ravana's soldiers were equipped with weapons of modern warfare. But the monkeys could only throw stones, mountain peaks, and trees. It was only Lord Ramachandra and Lakshman who shot some arrows. But because the soldiers of Ravana were condemned by the curse of Mother Sita, the monkeys were able to kill them simply by throwing stones and trees. There are two kinds of strength, Daiva and Purushakara. Daiva refers to the strength achieved from the transcendence, and Purushakara refers to the strength organized by one's own intelligence and power. Transcendental power is always superior to the power of the materialist. Depending on the mercy of the Supreme Lord, one must fight one's enemies even though one may not be equipped with modern weapons. Therefore, Krishna instructed Arjuna, Mam anusmara yudhyacha, think of me and fight. We should fight our enemy to the best of our ability, but for victory we must depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is a very wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada that explains to us how we, I'm not saying we, me, bumbling fool, okay, cannot do anything properly, cannot even chant Hare Krishna properly, sometimes have trouble waking up in the morning, sometimes overeat, sometimes do all these different kinds of things, all kinds of crazy thoughts come in the mind, and Srila Prabhupada entrusted me, a fool like me, with the world deliverance mission, right? And when I think about it, I think, how can it be possible? How is it possible? But what we should remember is few things, okay? Mother Sita had condemned Ravana, okay? So Mother Radharani has already condemned this material civilization, because the material civilization is preventing proper service of her Lord, Sri Madan Mohan. What is happening is that people are distracted serving the material nature, they're unable to serve Krishna. So Mother Radharani has already made the arrangement in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to destroy this material realm, material consciousness, right? It will be destroyed, transferred to the Vaikuntha realm. It's going to happen. We are living in that age right now. Right? In the 10,000 years of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's era, this is going to come. So Radharani has already made the arrangements. Okay? So this material consciousness within our hearts and within everybody's hearts is already condemned by Mother Sita or Mother Radharani. Right? She's here. She's already finished. Okay? So because Sita bhimarsha hata mangala ravaneshan, because of her anger, that material power was already condemned. So even though we as devotees, we go out there, we may not have all, a lot of money, like a lot of us, we struggle sometimes, like building a temple, or it's a big major endeavor, and thousands of buildings are coming up in Hyderabad, right? For us to get one temple, we have to struggle so much. It's very difficult for us, and we might get discouraged by seeing the growth of the material energy all over us. Every year you come to Hyderabad, it becomes more and more unrecognizable for someone who has lived here 20 years ago, for example, right? So we might get discouraged, but we don't have to, right? Because Mother Radharani has already condemned the materialists already. It's done. It's taken. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that all the material facilities in the world that are being created are actually for us. Prabhu, you need to take over one of those buildings and construct an international society for Krishna consciousness there. Prabhu, you need to do that. You need to do that. We all, each and every single one of us are meant to take over these material facilities, and 99% of the time, all these materialists will have a change of heart and will willingly give us the facilities. Right? I was speaking to Brajahari Prabhu in ISKCON Juhu just a couple of days ago, and he was talking about a family who gives them, they said, Devakinandan Prabhu approached them for a temple in Kanpur, and this family just wrote a check for 16 crores, right? And every Janmashtami they gave ISKCON Juhu at least 50 lakhs, right? So all these material facilities are being created not for the materialists, but for us. Just like the bee makes all the honey, correct? And makes a beehive. But does the bee get to taste the honey? No. The honey hive is taken away by the person and then given to who? For this used for the Abhishek of Sri Radha Madan Mohan every morning, right? So all the material facilities in the world are actually being created for us. Don't get intimidated. Sometimes you might be distributing a book and there's a person in a posh car. You should not think that this person is in a posh car. You should think that I will distribute this book to him and then he will give this car to the temple. Right? So that should be our consciousness. We have to be in the consciousness of, we are not approaching them from the position of inferiority, even though we behave in a humble way just to enter their hearts. Right? We are coming from the authority of Srila Prabhupada. When we are standing on the street distributing that book or that Bhagavad Gita or whatever it is, right? And we are being very humble, we are not standing there for our own sake. We are standing there as the representatives of Srila Prabhupada. What kind of seat does Srila Prabhupada sit on? Simhasana. So he is like the king of this whole world, right? So we are going as ambassadors of that Srila Prabhupada, right? So we should not be afraid or worried about this, because just look at these monkeys, right? They had stones and trees that they were throwing, right, against the modern warfare. And Srila Prabhupada says, in other places, that the modern warfare means we only have fire weapons today, right? All the bomb explodes and it creates fire. That's all. We have only fire weapons. We have no other weapons. Even the nuclear bomb is a fire weapon, right? But there are water weapons, there is air weapon, there is mind weapon, there is space weapon. You can shrink space, you can expand space. There's all kinds of weapons available to these soldiers of Ravana, right? There are sound weapons. You can create a sound that will transform somebody's consciousness. Where are those weapons? Those weapons are not existent today, right? But so there's nothing, only fire weapons are available today. So we can actually conquer over the whole world just by remembering that Sita Bhimarsha Hata Mangala Ravanesham. Okay? So we may be useless by ourselves, like individually we may be useless, but we are not acting for ourselves or by ourselves. We are acting under the authority of the entire Guru Parampara, starting from Sri Krishna through Srimati Radharani. Why through Srimati Radharani? What do we emphasize when we are going out for preaching? We emphasize the chanting of the holy name. And what is the holy name? Golokera Premadham Harinam Sankirtan. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahitar Pravartan. Right? So in fact, this holy name is the supreme weapon of the spiritual world. But it's not a weapon that causes destruction. It's a weapon of love. See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not kill anybody. Right? He killed their demoniac tendencies. So we are not out there to kill anybody. Though if we have to, we will. We are there to kill the demoniac tendency through whatever way we can. Right? We have to win their hearts. In whatever way, just like Narad Muni did, right? He preached in a different way. Dhruva Maharaj preached in a different way to Mrigari, preached in a different way to Prachina Barhi, preached in a different way. So we have to find out what is that angle that I can use to attract this person to Krishna. What is that particular thing that this person, he or she is attracted to, right? That we can bring them to Krishna. People used everything in the early days. Like my spiritual master used to distribute books there, and they all used to go out on the street. And when men and women are outside together, and especially the devotee women look very attractive to the materialists because they're very clean and pure, right? So then they want to associate with this devotee woman, right? Just like Ravana wanted to associate with Mother Sita, right? So the devotees would say, "Oh, you want to meet her? You come to the temple in the evening. We are having a program." Okay? They would even say that. Of course, there's no such association between a Vaishnavi and some fellow from the street. But that fellow comes in, he does 3 hours of Harinam Sankirtan, jumps up and down. He's purified of his desire to meet that Mataji. Right? He's purified of his desire. So we use everything. We should find out what is that one thing. Our spiritual master use that often, right? They use that. They find out what is that thing that this person is interested in, and they will use that to draw you to Krishna. Devamrita Swami Maharaj once told me, find out that person's material attachment and use that to drag him to Krishna. That's what he is instructed. Okay, so I want to end with one thing. Okay, we are performing what kind of bhakti are we performing? This is sadhana bhakti. Okay, and so many people have actually taken advantage of this understanding that and said that, oh, Prabhupada has only given you sadhana bhakti. Okay, you come to me, I will give you raganuga bhakti, right? Yeah, I will teach you how to become a gopi. I will teach you how to become a mother in Vrindavan. And unfortunately, some people who did not fully understand Srila Prabhupada's depth left. But in 2014, I heard a series of classes by Bhakti Viharu Maharaj. How this is mentioned clearly and openly in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, but I could not see. You need the Guru's eyes to see the scripture properly. So he explained how this sadhana bhakti we are performing is actually Raganuga bhakti, but we don't realize it because we are not yet that pure-hearted. How is it Raganuga bhakti? Okay, what is Raganuga bhakti means? Pursuing bhakti in the pursuance of a person who is already a pure devotee. So Raganuga bhakti means following a Ragatmika bhakta or bhaktin is Raganuga, right? A Raga Anuga. We are following the person who is already in the Raga, already in the taste. So somebody might be following Mother Yashoda, somebody might be following Lalita Sakhi, Vishaka Sakhi, all this, so many different things, Subal, all these different friends of Krishna. Somebody might be following a cow in Vrindavan, somebody might be following a tree in Vrindavan, like so and so forth. But the thing here is that who is the topmost Ragatmika Bhakta of Krishna? Who is the topmost? Srimati Radharani, right? And so when we say Golokera Prema Dhan, whose wealth is Harinam Sankirtan? Srimati Radharani. So the wealth of Harinam Sankirtan is her wealth. It belongs to her. This wealth belongs to her, right? Krishna Shakti Vina Nahitara Pravartan. Okay, so who spread the Harinam Sankirtan all over the world? Okay, so can we understand that Srila Prabhupada is a Ragatmika Bhakta? He's practically right next to Srimati Radharani in distributing Harinam Sankirtan, right? All over the world. He's her instrument, correct? So therefore, when we follow the system given by Srila Prabhupada, when we attend Mangalarti, when we chant our minimum 16 rounds, when we go out there and distribute books, when we collect funds, when we clean the temple, when we do deity worship, when we do, whose system are we following? So how is that not Raganuga Bhakti? Okay, so what sadhana bhakti we are actually following is the same thing that we will be following when we are in our perfectional stage. Right? We will be same thing. Srila Prabhupada said he's going to another planet after this. In fact, he's going to the lower planets where the duration of life is even shorter. Right? And he's going to preach there. So all of his disciples expressing desire to go wherever Srila Prabhupada is, right? And what about their disciples? Where do you think they will go? Right? So we are going to, this Leela of transforming a planet from the worst of Kali Yuga to the highest of the golden age of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu it will continue to happen around all the multifarious universes, millions and billions of universes. And each and every one of us here, sitting here, attending this class, performing some seva to Radha Madan Mohan, have a chance to participate in this. And you know what? Srila Prabhupada said this himself right here in Hyderabad. Okay, there are 2 lectures of Srila Prabhupada, one that was conducted on the day of the installation of Sri Radha Madan Mohan and one that was conducted on the day after Sri Radha Madan Mohan, in which he explains the meaning of Nitya Leela. And he says, just like yesterday we opened a temple. You hear that class from Srila Prabhupada. He said right here in Hyderabad, right at the opening ceremony of this temple, at the installation of Sri Radha Madan Mohan, he explained Nitya Leela. He said, this will go on. This is Nitya Leela. We will go on opening temple. This temple of Hyderabad will be opened at every moment of eternity in different universes. It's happening right now. Okay, so don't think that we are in some little sect that we are chanting Hare Krishna. That we do this. This is we are Hare Krishnas, therefore we chant the Hare Krishna. Right? It's not like that. We are part of the greatest adventure of all time. Like we have somehow or the other been caught up in this cyclone. Right? Once you get caught up in a cyclone, you can't escape. Right? Like it's done. It takes you wherever it goes. Right? And this material cyclones end after some time, 2 days, 3 days, 10 days, whatever it ends. This cyclone will never end. Right? We are going from planet to planet to planet to planet, following our spiritual masters for all of eternity. And we are going to participate in the most amazing adventure that we have ever had in our lives, ever. Like even as Brahma, you have not experienced this kind of stuff, right? That we are going to experience now. So it's coming, it's here. Like we are already part of it, but we don't know it yet because we're a little bit in anesthesia still. Rupa Goswami says, he says that Tannama Rupa Charita Sukirtananu Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyojya Tishtan Majet. But why we are not able to do that? Because we have jaundice. Vittopatapta Rasanasya Nochikano. We don't realize that what an amazing place we are in. Oh my God! Like if you know like where you are, you will never feel any dullness ever. You will always come for Mangalarti. You will always chant your rounds. You will always struggle hard, like your life depends on it to distribute every book. You struggle hard, like it's your last chance to save that person, maybe. Right? But of course, there will be many more after us who will come and help them. It's not that we are the doers, right? We are not in that consciousness. So I will stop here. On the day of this Ramachandra Vijayotsa, I want us to go out there and register some victories. So we we heard the scores in the morning. What was the total number, Prabhu, today this morning? 200 and something? Huh? 171. Can we exceed that on Ramachandra Vijayotsa? Go out there and really push hard, right? Today, right? Get people to chant Hare Krishna. Pour as much as they can take, obviously, right? So one of the examples given in Sankirtan training is if you try to pull down a fruit that is unripe from the tree, then you pull down the whole branch with it, it causes pain to the tree. So if the fruit is still green, you let him get some more kicks from Maya and come back, right? You know that we will see them, right? I have seen some people over the years because I go to the same Sankirtan spots. Even here in Hyderabad, I've seen them. Okay, 4 years ago when I first came and I distributed books, they were like, no, 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 And then last year they took a book, and this time they're like chasing me and they're saying, when are you coming back? And so these things happen over a period of time. They get kicked, and then they come back. Right? So please let us, today is Ramachandra Vijayotsava. It's a very empowered day for us. If a little bit of attempt, a little bit of effort will produce results beyond our imagination. So let's take it as a one-day little marathon. See, I know everybody has other services today as well, but let's try to like really push forward this Hare Krishna movement today, because today we are empowered by Sita Devi's anger. We are empowered every day by her anger, but especially today, we have heard this verse, we have chanted this verse. It's in our hearts. So let's do that. Okay. So if there's any questions, remember that questions make it real. I know it's already 9:25, so we don't have much time. But if there's one reflection or a question, please go ahead. Feel free.
Krishna Prabhu, very wonderful class. Thank you for inspiring all of us. And like, it's not a question. Like, would you like to after hearing that you are from Madhva Sampradaya, can you touch upon something about Madhvacharya on his parents' day?
Madhvacharya was the greatest Sankirtan warrior ever. Anand Tirtha. And he just look where all he walked and where all he went and how he preached. Right? So Sripad Madhvacharya, his instructions are actually difficult to understand because they are meant for the Siddhas practically. So nobody really can understand directly. So therefore, there was an Acharya after him who commented on his commentaries. Right? So there's Madhvacharya's Bhashya on various scriptures are there, which our acharyas have referred to. But also there is a acharya whose name is Jayatirtha. He's a disciple of Akshobhya Tirtha. He's in our disciplic succession. You can see him in the Bhagavad Gita. You'll see Jayatirtha, Akshobhya Tirtha, Jayatirtha. You'll see them in the list. So Jayatirtha has created tippani or commentaries on the works of Madhvacharya's commentaries. So, so Jayatirtha has helped us to understand. And I recently wrote an article. Jayatirtha was actually, and I'll tell you another amazing thing. Okay, so Jayatirtha in his former life was the bull that carried Madhvacharya's scriptures. Okay, on his back everywhere. And because he was a bull carrying the scriptures, he would go to every single class that Madhvacharya gave. And if Madhvacharya is giving class, the bull is there because his scriptures are there, right? It's not like the internet where you can just pull up the whole Bhagavatam on your little phone here. They used to carry the entire scripture, because then, if there's an argument or whatever, the scripture will come out, the specific reference will come out, it will be pointed, and then Madhvacharya would attain victory, and then that person would become a disciple of Madhvacharya, like that. So this bull was there for every single class of Madhvacharya, right? And he was always sitting there, listening. And then his disciples, Madhvacharya's disciples, asked Madhvacharya who would, because they wanted to be the one, it's there everywhere, not just in ISKCON, by the way. It's like it's been there forever. Everybody wants to be the one, like the next empowered acharya, right? Inside. So they said, can we write commentaries on your works? Because they knew that it's very difficult to understand. And Madhvacharya refused them all. And then they said, but then who is going to write? Because, they could count the sannyasi disciples of Madhvacharya in the room or on the thing. And Madhvacharya, as if he was making a joke, okay, or exasperated, said, this bull shall write the commentaries. You stay out of it. This bull will write. And then those disciples, even though they were so exalted, it's all Leela, they are pure devotees, it's all Leela, they cursed the bull to die by a snake bite. Okay? And then Madhvacharya, because he's Madhvacharya, changed the curse that the snake who will bite the bull will die. So the snake bit the bull and the snake died. And the bull died a natural death after a while. And then this bull was born. This is what happened. He was born as a rich son of a zamindar, because he was a bull of Madhvacharya. He had a lot of sukriti. So he was born as a son of a rich, he was a warrior. So he was in full armor one day, riding, his horse at full speed. And it was a hot day, imagine Hyderabad at 40 degrees Celsius, right? And he was riding in armor. He was very thirsty, and he came upon a river. And then he went into the river directly without getting off human beings drink water in a certain way and animals drink water in a certain way. Animals put their mouth in the water and human beings bring the water to their mouth, right? That's the difference of how. So this Dhondopanta, his name is Dhondopanta Raghunath, near Pandharpur, went straight into the water with his horse. Horse also drank water, he also drank water. Okay, at the same time. Both of them were drinking water the same way. He was very thirsty, and he's a warrior. So Akshobhya was sitting on the banks of the river. And then he said to him, he said this one line, okay? He said, Kim Pashu Purvadehe. He said, so why, were you an animal in your previous life? Akshobhya said this to Dhondopanta. And immediately his amnesia was gone. He just remembered his past life as the bull of Madhvacharya, but hearing all the katha of Madhvacharya. And at that very moment, he renounced his royal wealth and prestige. Okay, and he became a sadhu. Of course, his father, Raghunath Deshpande, was like all rich fathers, like, my son should inherit my property, become greater than me, become the king of India, maybe, like that was his aspiration. So he brought him back, tried to get him married, and then of course Jayatirtha, not yet Jayatirtha at that time, showed some miracles, and then his father said, okay, this is beyond me, this is out of my league, and he let him go. And then Jayatirtha took sannyas right away. Initiation meant sannyas back then. Like it was not like first initiation, second initiation. It was like initiation means sannyas because the people were generally pure-hearted. So that was one little nugget. And through Jayatirtha's commentaries, he's known as the Tika Acharya. Our acharyas, Baladev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they all directly and indirectly refer to his commentaries. And it's available to us in Srila Prabhupada's books. Jayatirtha's writings are available to us in Srila Prabhupada's books. So we don't actually have to go. My spiritual master instructed, because I'm an, like a controlled by the mind kind of person. So my spiritual master instructed me that until you read Srila Prabhupada's books, don't read Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's works. Until you read Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's works, don't go and read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's work like that. If you really want to read, then start with the current acharyas, instructions of our own spiritual masters, and then make sure that Srila Prabhupada's works have to be read thoroughly by every single person in ISKCON. Like there's no, my spiritual master said that anybody who has read and understood Srila Prabhupada's books will never leave ISKCON, and they will never leave devotions. No blooping will happen. Right? Sometimes it happens, suddenly you don't see a devotee. That's the reason is because they did not actually understand Srila Prabhupada's books properly. So my humble request to you is, please, first of all, get those books. Do you have full set of Srila Prabhupada's books, Prabhu? Please give your contact details to these brahmacharis here, and they will, or the book distributor. Who is the book distributor here? Venugopal Prabhu. This devotee with the checked shirt doesn't have a full set of Srila Prabhupada's books. He needs it. Please figure out a way to get it for him. Because he's interested. He wanted to chant the verse. I'm sorry, because of lack of time, you could not chant. But please read Srila Prabhupada's books and become fully thorough. And you don't worry. I see that you're with, probably your other half there. So you don't have to worry that we are not going to force you to come into saffron. Okay? So, sthane sthita shruti gatang tanuang manubhar. You can stay in your grihastha ashram and preach. I am a family man myself, so there is no barrier to pursuing bhakti. Okay, so we'll stop here. We have exceeded time. I'll be here for some time. I'm here today and tomorrow, and then from the 28th till the 31st, and then I have to go back to my seva sthal, Toronto, and that's where I have to go back to my service. So this is a good little break, but I'm here to also serve my parents a little bit. So thank you very much. I'm very inspired by all of you devotees at ISKCON Hyderabad. You are going to change the face of this city. You're going to just do amazing things. I see that the mood every morning in Mangalarti is just charged up. So Japa devotees are chanting so seriously. It's going to just transform this city completely. So it's just like, you know how exponential graphs are? They start like this, and then they go like this. And because their slope is very high, they just go to infinity very quickly. So you're all going to make it happen. I can see all the brightness, and you're starting early as well, not like me. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Sri Ramachandra ki, Sita Devi's anger ki, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Sri Harinam Mahamantra ki. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhyo, patitanam pavanebhyo, vaishnavebhyo, namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnavinda ki jai.